Are you spiritually incorrect? Let's find out. Join me. Okay, guys, thanks for joining me today. So, we are going to jump into this topic of being spiritually incorrect. What does that really mean? Okay, it's like this. There's a bunch of spiritual ways of doing things, and everyone has their kind of way. And sometimes these ways get put into like a system, and these systems get kind of big and popular. And people are like, hey, come join this system. It works. It's great. And it's like, yeah, it does work, and it is pretty great. But then there's some like rules and there's like other things that come along with the system, and it's like, wait a minute, I didn't sign up for this or that or these things. And it's like, oh, but it's part of the system, you got to do it, and it's like, and if you don't do it, then all of a sudden you're considered maybe like spiritually incorrect. You're not doing it right. Oh, well, you didn't do it right, so you got to start over. It's like, wait, what I don't understand, and correct me if I'm wrong, is like the one thing that I've been taught the most is to be self-referral, to refer to myself. And I'm not talking about like the ego self, like me, what do I think? I'm not talking about the small me kind of thing. I'm talking about like higher knowledge, tapping into some like higher wisdom where you need to be silent. It's not where you're just like, I know. It's like, it's more like getting quiet, going within and finding that inner voice within and knowing from there and having this inner knowing. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I want to get in touch with. And sometimes that's all I need. Really, that's all we need. And so all these other trappings that come along with these like spiritual systems, sometimes it's like, oh, if you don't do this or if you do that, then you're not spiritual. It's like, that just makes me want to vomit. All of life isn't going to just fit into like this cookie cutter like shape. Like, we all gotta like make sure we fit into these like boundaries so that if you fit into that boundary, you're a spiritual person. It just doesn't work like that. Like, the universe is so unbounded, so expansive. Why would we have to be like one little way in order to be enlightened or to be awake? So yeah, just fuck that shit. And one of the stories that I love is like the Zen masters that like supposedly they're supposed to give some sort of lecture, and everyone gathers and they're waiting for the master, and then like an hour passes, 2 hours pass, like 3 hours pass. People are like, where is he? Like, and people are starting to get worried. And then here he rolls in like 3.5 hours late, and he's drunker than a skunk, and he's got like a couple ladies with him, and everyone's just like, what's going on? What have we been waiting here for? And most of the people like split and they just leave. And there's a handful of people in the crowd that are just like sticking around just to be like, okay, we're gonna watch this train wreck unfold and see what happens. The Zen master like imparts like amazing knowledge to all of the people who are there because they decided to stay and listen, and wait it out, and not just to like judge a book by its cover and be like, oh, he's obviously not a spiritual person because he's all drunk and 3.5 hours late and blah, 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 blah. If they didn't stay, then they couldn't hear it, and maybe they didn't stay because they couldn't hear it. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, maybe it's like the filters that they were looking through just wouldn't allow them to see that he was a master, even though he was late and that he might have been drunk. Maybe it was all a game. Maybe it was all just a show, just to see who would judge him and who would start to cast the judgment so that he could know, okay, you're not ready for this knowledge, so you're going to remove yourself from the audience. It's kind of brilliant, And so just to be clear, I'm not talking about like being egotistical, like being in your ego and like, I'm gonna go get fucked up and do whatever I want, and just all that kind of stuff. No, 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 no. We're not talking about that. What we're talking about is listening to your own inner guidance, to that inner voice, like getting in touch with that and like really like honoring it. And like a huge thing today in today's world is diet. Are you vegan? Do you eat meat? Is your food grown locally? Is it organic? All these questions. And to be honest, my diet has changed dramatically in the last year or so. And if I had a bunch of like spiritual hangups that I had to like that I was clinging on to, that was like, oh, if this changes, then I'm not spiritual. Then I would have been in a world of hurt in this past year because I had to severely switch up my diet. Sometimes I have shared this with people and that are, maybe, vegan or vegetarian, and it's like they get offended that I'm eating meat. And oh, well, you must not be spiritual, and oh, your meditations must just be not very great. And I'm just like, what? It just kind of shows me where they are. It's like, oh, you think you can't be spiritual or that you can't have a good meditation or you can't X, Y, or Z if you do this. It's like, wow, you really haven't lived or looked around a lot, have you? Like, you're really looking for something to like fit in this little bitty cookie cutter of a experience. And I'm sorry, buddy, but it's just not gonna happen. So, the sooner we all realize this, the easier it's going to be, because we're not going to try to fit ourselves into cookie cutter like shapes. It's like, allow yourself to be who you are. That's what we love about each other, is that we're individuals. It's the individual part of us that when it shines, we get excited about it. It's like, oh, cool, look, they're doing their thing. They're shining. Yay! Everyone has their own path. Everyone has their own thing that they're doing. So we all have to respect and honor that. And, to make each other, to expect that we all have to do the same exact thing is just ludicrous. It makes it bland. It's like so vanilla. It's like, where's the flavor of life? So I just want you guys to think about this, like, are you spiritually incorrect? I hope so. I hope so, because that means you're thinking for yourself. You're not just like going with like what everyone's telling you to do. Like, obviously respect the paths that have been forged for us, and like, there's techniques out there to learn and to like put in your Batman toolkit belt, as I call it, of spirituality, so that you can like get out of situations or level yourself up in situations when you feel like but don't feel like you are trapped in these systems. The systems are there as guides, but then after a while, you have to transcend the system, because Quantum Shamanics, this channel, is all about the shamanic path, really. And the shamanic path says, like, you can look to the past to see what they've done and to get inspiration for you to do what you want to do, but really, it's always going to be your own way of doing it. You're always going to do it your own way. You can't not do it your own way. Shamanism honors the individual. Shamanism says, like, every moment is new and we have to like evolve with it. And yes, we have a past and we can honor and we can bring things from the past, but even if we're bringing it from the past and it's a traditional thing, it's going to be renewed through us. We have to honor that in each other, that we're going to evolve and change as we grow spiritually, and that parts of us might fall away, parts of us might change, parts of us evolve. And, it's okay. And that's the beauty of it. Like what the caterpillar calls the death, like the rest of the world calls a butterfly. So it's like, it's amazing sometimes, these transformations that we go through. And if we were to label them and like look at them like, ooh, you're doing it wrong, you're being spiritually incorrect, then you might be missing the whole point of what's going on. You really just need to be open. Be open. That's all I'm asking. Don't start the judgment stuff of being like, oh, you're not doing it right. Relax, okay? Don't put the horse before the cart, or the cart before the horse. I always get that wrong. Because a lot of times these spiritual texts that say like, well, this is what the enlightened person does, they're just like texts that show like, when you're enlightened, you might have a tendency to do these kinds of things. But until you're enlightened, it's not like you should try to do these things and force yourself to act in this way. That's going to be probably more painful for you than it is good for you, because you're going to be like, this feels like I'm going against my natural tendencies, You need to honor the natural tendencies and allow yourself to naturally evolve, and don't judge yourself of being spiritually incorrect. Allow yourself to evolve naturally, and things will just unfold. But, like I've been saying, this isn't a small me, ego kind of thing. This is a bigger me, like more connected part of me, connected part of you, connected part of us, the part of us that is our higher self, that has the wisdom, that has the knowledge already. So we're going to connect with that more through meditation, through contemplation, through these different techniques that we'll be learning together. We'll be seeing how, there'll be more insights and there's more awareness and there's more intuition flowing through us. And then that way we can be able to find our own path through this world and not be worried about, are we doing it incorrectly or not? We'll just have this inner knowing. And that's the best thing, is when you just know. When you have that inner knowing, that inner compass, the inner map, you have it all. You all have it all. We all have it all within us right here, right now. It's just about waking up to it, Getting silent, getting centered, and waking up to that. And that is an amazing thing. And that's what I hope for you. And that's what I want for you. So that's why this channel's here. Don't judge yourself. Don't think you're doing it spiritually incorrectly. Don't let anyone else tell you that you're doing it spiritually incorrectly. If you're doing something that you feel is right for you, and it's not hurting anyone else, you're not hurting yourself, then I think you should be able to know as an adult that you can do that and not be worried about what those other people are saying. Hate is gonna hate, you know that saying. And the sad thing is, and this is a spiritual truth, that even in spiritual communities, there are haters. Trust me, been in them, seen them, ran into them, and all I can say is bless you, and hopefully you can drop your own bullshit so that we can all just get along, because when you really boil it all down, there's no such thing as being spiritually incorrect. We're all doing our own thing, trying to get back to the source. So my wish is that you have the smoothest ride back to the source, and you just shine your light so brightly and wonderfully that we can all see our paths easier. So thank you guys so much for joining me today. I look forward to you joining me in the next videos. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to the channel so you can see the next videos when they come out. Like this video, leave a comment down below. Have you ever been told that you're spiritually incorrect? Let me know what it was like. Tell me about the experience. I would love to hear about it. So please comment down below. Thank you guys for joining me, and I'll see you next time. See you later. Bye-bye.